show them something that wasn't an illusion. Something that was real. Something that they could see and touch. Creation is an act of sheer will. Life will find a way.
Hello and welcome to the road to Jurassic World Dominion. What do you want to watch is look back at the massive dinosaur franchise which taught people the difference between a velociraptor and a brachiosaurus and showed us that life finds a way. I'm Ashley Hobley, your host for this expedition, and joining me on the trek to Isla Nublar and beyond is Don Blight.
I really wonder how long you spent. Like, you spent more time fucking doing that than you did brushing your teeth this morning, I reckon.
I mean,
also, the title Jurassic World Dominion doesn't really roll off the tongue, you know. Like, welcome to our road to Jurassic World Dominion it's not exactly.
No.
Yeah.
Colin Trevorrow, people over there.
Yeah.
Can you please change the title to make it a bit more catchy? I think it's better than Jurassic World Fall of the Kingdom. It's like,
yeah.
As a title for like reading.
Yeah.
But yes, we will be discussing each of the Jurassic Park films in lead up to Jurassic World Dominion, the third of these Jurassic World films. Dylan, what's your history with Jurassic Park?
I've been watching Jurassic Park since I was a kid. I mean, it used to be on TV all the time. I had the VHS for the original 3 films that we all had on VHS. Used to watch them a lot. I watched the second one the least because it scared me the most as a kid. We'll get to that next week and I can point out exactly what moment terrified me, but it has to do with a waterfall. And then the first one I think was like, as far as awe-inspiring. And I think that's the thing on the rewatch of this movie. I was like, this movie like really, and maybe kids just now because we just have special effects everywhere. Like, you're just watching this for the first time. It is that whole like, wow. Like, especially as a kid, it was like, wow. That moment where Sam Neill and, you know, like he's looking up and then the camera shows the dinosaurs for the first time. It was like, oh my God. And as a kid, I remember having my mind absolutely blown by that. And I loved dinosaurs as a little kid too. Like, my parents and my grandparents have told me this too. Like, I was definitely loved playing with my dinosaur toys and, you know, like just pretend fighting. So like, I love dinosaurs. So that's, I think, why I probably gravitated towards Jurassic Park. I mean, I probably didn't watch I probably watched this when I was too young, but I probably would have been maybe 8 or 9 the first time.
It's funny you say that.
It's too young, but
because Jurassic Park is the first movie I remember watching in the cinema.
Yeah, okay.
So
yeah,
when I do the math, I would be 4 or 5 when it was out. So whether it was just, you know, it was re-released later and I watched it then, but yeah, that kind of checks out.
Yeah, well, to make you sound old, it came out the year after I was born, so.
Yeah. So.
I most definitely did not watch it in the cinema.
I mean, 4 or 5 years different is not that much age difference.
Yeah, I loved, and I know that there's a whole thing, and maybe we'll discuss those in the coming weeks, where the second and third one aren't as well received as the first one. And I mean, if you actually look at the reviews, the first one was actually like not even as well. Like, I think it's well loved in cinema history, but at time it was like it did get some sort of scathing reviews, which is quite interesting to look at. But as far as I'm concerned, Jurassic Park is the first one is like an all-time classic movie. I feel like if you haven't watched it, what the fuck are you doing with your life? This is a movie that if I did one of those books like Dylan Blight's 1001 or even 100, you know, like I say it's 100 movies to watch before you die, or, you know, one of those sorts of things. This is ranking in the top, you know, the top echelon of those sorts of things. But yeah, I really do wonder. Easy. It's an all-time classic. I think it's and it still holds up. And I've watched this movie countless times, but all of the wonder and everything still works for me. Like, and I know we will get into it soon where you're like, oh, the special effects aren't as good or whatever. And I'm completely roasting the glasses and I don't care because I know there's an age difference. But I think given like this was how early and like sort of how this was sort of the first of its kind. A lot of like what we're seeing in this movie as far as special effects go, I think a lot of it still looks fucking great, especially anything shot at nighttime. So
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, like I said, one of the first movies I watched. So yeah, I vividly remember seeing Wayne Knight get murdered and then needing to go to the bathroom because it was kind of freaking me out. But yeah, I've watched 2 a lot. I feel like that was on regular rotation. But I was like very bored. Like there's a very long period in that movie. I'm sure we'll discuss it next week where there's nothing happening. It's just a lot of talking.
At the camp, like at
or like some house or something. I don't know. Like before they even go to the island or whatever.
Oh yeah, it's in like the base and everything.
Yeah,
before they leave.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next week. I have not seen Jurassic Park 3.
And you haven't seen Jurassic World? No,
I've seen Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom.
Whereas I haven't seen Fallen Kingdom.
Yes. So,
Yes. So that's like what
I missed the one in the middle. You've missed the most recent one. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Be interesting to hear your thoughts on that film because obviously that film has not been well received.
Well, the reason I didn't watch it, I'll just put that in our, like, instead of just discussing it when we get to it, but like as a setup to, seeing as I'm just saying how much I love the Jurassic Park trilogy, like growing up and everything, I was really excited for Jurassic World and I thought it was fine. Like I didn't love it or hate it. Like I was just like, like it was enjoyable, but it definitely didn't hit any of the same emotions I had as a kid watching the originals. And then for whatever reason, I never got super excited based on the trailers for Fallen Kingdom. And I remember the early reviews were like, look, if you didn't love the first one, this is sort of worse than that. And I was like, I'll catch it on Blu-ray maybe, or like
and the day is coming very soon.
Yeah, the day is coming.
Yeah. I enjoyed those. The Jurassic World, I think, is interesting. It'll be interesting to go back and watch it because that was peak Chris Pratt. Like that's when he was at the peak of his powers. Everybody loved him. It's definitely not the same anymore. So, yeah, looking forward to getting into those. But yes, let's get into our discussion of Jurassic Park.
There it is. Welcome to Jurassic Park.
We've made living biological attractions so astounding that they'll capture the imagination of the entire planet.
The most phenomenal discovery of our time
How'd you do this?
becomes the greatest adventure of all time.
Can I touch it?
Sure.
Universal Pictures presents
You feel that?
Hold on to your butts.
a Steven Spielberg film.
Fences are failing all over the park.
Yeah, that's nice. Gotta go.
An adventure
I can't get Jurassic Park back online.
65 million years in the making.
Crichton, David Koepp, based on Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton, starring Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, Richard Attenborough, Bob Peck, Martin Ferrero, B.D. Wong, Samuel L. Jackson, Wayne Knight, Joseph Mazzello, and Ariana Richards. A pragmatic paleontologist touring an almost complete theme park on an island in Central America is tasked with protecting a couple of kids after a power failure causes the park's cloned dinosaurs to run loose. Dylan, when was the last time you watched Jurassic Park?
Would have been prior to World, I think. Like in the lead up to World, I did watch the original 3.
I have not watched since in childhood, so
that's insanity.
There's just so many movies now. You have to watch all of them.
I think I've caught like half of it on TV, like in the background as well. Like maybe within that time, I would have caught like, but I never actually sat down and watched it. I just like maybe watched like 10, 15 minutes and then like, I got other shit to do. So, but yeah, I definitely watched all 3 of the original trilogy prior to World. When World came out, like 2016, 15, 17, I don't fucking know. Somewhere around there. But whenever, around that year.
Yeah. So what did you think of Jurassic Park on this rewatch?
Fantastic. Loved it. There's nothing wrong with it. I have 0 complaints. This is an almost perfect film, I feel. and my complaints are very minimal and nitpicky or whatever. Like, I think I have it a 9 on Trakt. It's not quite in my, like, 10 echelon because I think there's some, like, in general, I feel like there's some pacing issues, and I've always sort of thought there is some pacing issues that sort of slow like in the middle there a little bit. And I feel like some of the characters aren't as fully developed and as interesting as some of the others. Namely, I don't, and I've never really loved Jeff Goldblum. Like, I like Jeff Goldblum in this, but I definitely feel like his character is just sort of a caricature. Like it's not really a character in comparison to...
He's a sexy version of his Independence Day character.
Yeah, I feel like they're my sort of nitpicky sort of things that I've... Yeah, the same complaints I've had for years are the same ones I have watching it now. But otherwise, I think it's an all-time classic, a must-watch. Fantastic film. Definitely the special effects, as I said, some of it does look a little bit dated, but I still think they look really fucking good, especially given when you take into account the time. I can guarantee there's shit I've watched recently that looks worse than this, like special effects wise, which says something. You know, like we're talking about Halo recently. Halo special effects don't look this good. We literally talking about watching like a Marvel show recently. I'd say the special effects in this look better than that for like an overall percentage.
Okay. Yeah, I obviously really enjoyed it as well. It's like a cool... Obviously, there's the element of nostalgia, but yeah, I think for the most part, it's well done. There are just certain elements that are like, there's certain things that are brought up that are never touched on ever again, that kind of irked me. It's like, why you bring up this whole thing about this Triceratops and trying to figure out why it's getting sick, and then you never follow up on it. Of course, everything goes to shit, so you never get to follow it up. But then why bring it up in the first place? I guess.
It's literally a reason to separate them, is why. I
guess that's the thought.
It's a plot reason to separate her from Laura Dern's character from the rest.
That's fair. And then the major other one that was like, why even bring up the little dinosaurs, the baby dinosaurs, other than to possibly set up a sequel?
Yeah, it's literally just set up a sequel,
which is crazy.
A potential sequel. Yeah. Well, no, I guess. Well, I mean, it's based on books. Like there was, like
yes,
it's not like it exists in a bubble where it's like today they make everything so it has to be a sequel. But it's also, even if you, you could not take it as a sequel thing. You could just take it as Jeff Goldblum's character was always right. What's his character? Dr. Whatever. I can never remember his character's name.
I can't remember any of the characters' names, to be honest.
Malcolm. There we go. Malcolm something. He, like his whole thing about life finds a way.
Malcolm.
There you go. Life finds a way. Like it's just sort of proving that his thesis, his chaos theory, was correct. So take it as that. Take it as sequel setup. But either way, it's those two things.
That's fair. Yeah, I think the cast across the board is pretty fantastic. Like Sam Neill representing Australia. We'll say it's fantastic. Just
claimed him.
Yeah, claim him. Just the opening of him, like the paleontologist, scaring this kid shitless about velociraptors, and then the man who doesn't want to do anything with kids slowly come to be loved by these two kids, and it's very nostalgic and very excited to see. Obviously, I'm kind of excited now to see the third one, where obviously he appears again, but even more excited to see him in Jurassic World Dominion.
Yeah, I was about to say, you should be more excited for Dominion because he's not paired with Laura Dern in Jurassic Park 3, spoilers. Whereas in Dominion he is, so.
Laura Dern, fantastic as well. Really great. I forgot Samuel L. Jackson was in this movie, so it was surprising to see him in a role in which he does no swearing or yelling at
these
people.
Motherfucking dinosaurs. Get us motherfucking park.
Motherfucking dinosaurs in this motherfucking visitation center. It's a real shame he gets eaten.
Yeah,
or at least, or maybe he comes back in the next movie with just one arm. We don't know.
He's been beaten by
the body.
Samuel Jackson has a sting of bit roles where he's actually eaten by animals. He's also eaten by a shark in another movie that you probably haven't seen and a bunch of stuff.
That's
not
water,
Jaws,
water.
Ash. Yes, that one. Yes, that's it. Deep Blue Sea. Deep Blue Sea.
Does he get eaten by snakes? You can spoil it here.
No, I think he survives from memory. I haven't watched it for a while.
Too much of a main character to be most next in that movie.
Yeah.
I really like Richard Attenborough. Like, he's really great in this, as that role of the I don't know, the philanthropist, or I don't know how would you describe him?
Yeah, I mean, don't you think it's like the opposite of how that character would be written today? Is the interesting thing?
Yeah, that's the thing.
I
Yeah,
sort of had
like,
on the most recent.
It's not
watch.
about the money; it's about the showing people stuff. Whereas now it would be about the money, and it is about the money in Jurassic World. So I mean,
yeah. At first, he, like, I think that they do a good job with that character because, like, he wants to make money. Obviously, he's a businessman, but he also sense he has a true passion for the science behind it in general, for the good and bad reasons. And the bad is obviously it's that whole, like, you never thought to stop to ask if you should, and, you know, like all that sort of stuff. But the fact that by the end of the movie he comes around and you have that classic moment where Sam Neill's jumping into the Jeep there at the end and being like, I've decided not to sign off on your park. And then he's like, me too. You know, like, so by the end, he's not like the techie.
I'm coming back.
Yeah. He's not actually part of the bad guy cast. Like, he's still the good guy amongst everything. And he always cares for his grandchildren throughout the entire movie. And it's never like, I feel like if this movie was made today, he would definitely be more worried about the park's reputation rather than the grandkids. And you'd write it as a younger tech bro, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos type in comparison.
Yeah. Rather than this old man who wants to leave a legacy or whatever.
Yeah.
It is interesting revisiting this and seeing all the 90s tech and getting very excited about. It's got a CD-ROM computer. You can charge the screen. It's like, yeah, that's kind of threw me. And like the end of the movie is her, you know, like 3D menu for some reason.
Yeah,
locking all the doors.
It's like Tron.
Yeah, kind of. I think it's before Tron, right? So
it'll be like the same. I think Tron was like 90.
Pretty close.
Something. Yeah.
I liked Wayne Knight's performance, but like his character's kind of weird. I don't. It's a bit heavy-handed. As like, your money problems are your problem. Don't talk to me about money. When he's before he turns on him and everything. But yeah, okay. Of course, we got that classic meme of like him going.
Yeah, that.
Nobody cares.
How many people do you reckon use that meme but have no idea what movie it's from?
So many. Like,
so many.
At least 80%.
Look, these guys make podcasts. Look, nobody cares. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So many people.
I mean, that's another thing. It's like, you think that can of jeans is going to be playing an important role later, potentially. No. Never seen it again.
No. But I mean, like, it's that whole, the whole movie is just about power corrupting in different ways, I guess. Like the power of like having the option to clone these dinosaurs and then not choosing to actually think about the ramifications and just choosing to do it because you have the power to chase money.
They wondered if they could rather than if they should.
Yes, exactly.
Never stop to think if they should.
But I mean, that's what it sort of boils down to. Is all these characters, all the ones like sort of chasing. He's chasing money because he's obviously a gambler, is what it's sort of implied, or something along those lines. Where he's wasted away his money. So, and I mean, the other important thing is that the film does set up in the first one something that is a continuing theme throughout all the films, which is a sort of warring potential of a business trying to steal away the secrets, steal away the dinosaurs, you know, like whatever way you want to put it. Like that is a theme that runs throughout all of them. And it is set up here with Wayne Knight's character as the first one to introduce you to that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about that. So
that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, I just love this, the wonder, I guess, in this. Like, the pure excitement on Sam Neill's face when he sees dinosaurs for the first time. You know, that scene. Him turning
one of the greatest scenes of all time. Yeah. One of the greatest scenes of all time. Like his look, the lift after the glasses, Laura and Jocelyn, and being like, this plant hasn't been here for 1,000 years. And just the way he puts his hand and just like turns her head. Like, it's so good. It's a classic scene.
Yeah.
The music.
Dylan, let me ask you a question.
Hmm.
Does that theme sound like the Mighty Ducks theme to you?
Fuck no.
It does a little bit.
No,
Not
fuck
that
no.
theme, but some of the music in it does.
No, completely different.
I don't know.
No, don't put that shit in my head.
I checked Google and like nothing came up. So I mean,
Okay,
maybe I'm the only one
Yeah, it must be just
because I've seen Mighty Ducks so many times. It's like
That's your problem.
the notes are slightly close.
You're watching Mighty Ducks too much and not Jurassic Park.
Yeah, well, Mighty Ducks much more like easy to get into.
Dinosaurs? Eh?
Ice hockey, such a universal sport that everybody can get into. You should check out our Mighty Ducks spoiler cast. Show notes below. Yeah. Well, you brought up the dinosaurs. Like, I think Dylan, what's the MVP dinosaur of Jurassic Park?
Fuck. I gotta be honest. I've always loved the frilly neck fucker that kills Wayne Knight's character. Something that that was actually the scariest, I think, scene for me as a kid in this particular movie. It wasn't the T-Rex. Is that what it is? Yeah, I can't remember. That was my I do have my preferred dinosaur from each movie. I could think of them all now, but I'll save them as we go. Some answers may shock you, but I would say it's the frilly neck fucker because as a kid, when he got into that car and he turns around and it's there, oh my god!
How did you get in?
I don't know, but it's sort of funny to me now as an adult watching it. Just go, did he just open the door? Like, what did he do?
I mean, there's a lot of
as a kid,
doors.
Yeah, as a kid, I was like, woof, scared the absolute crap out of me when he turned around and just like, and then the car shaking and shit like that. Yeah. I was like, I remember when it cut to the mud, I was expecting blood trail to follow or something. I don't know, but. And they set that up earlier. They're like, hey, that fucker can like sting your eyeballs out and make you blind.
Yeah, poison stuff. Yeah. They actually did a good job setting that up, and like the whole thing of like they don't see any dinosaurs.
The first time
on
through
on the trail. Yeah, it's like,
but they're
there. For me, it has to be the Velociraptors. I mean, they're the biggest threat.
They are clever girls.
They are clever girls, and scary girls. Like, sure, they got tricked by mirrors, and they got trapped on slippery ice.
Look, they learn. They never seen these things before, you know.
They were definitely the scariest thing, only to be taken out by a Tyrannosaurus Rex coming out of nowhere.
That's true, but that's also another. There's so many scenes in this. I just think it's some of the best scenes of movie history, to be honest. And that shot, the final, like that 20, 30 seconds scene there, I also think is one of the greatest moments in cinema history. Like, to be honest, I'm not even memeing. Like, that T-Rex coming in, grabbing it up, chopping it, and it's the part that makes it so memorable is the music kicking in, but also the way the banner, falling down across him and being totally readable at the same time is what makes it sing. And then the following up roar at the sky. It just makes it sort of one of the old times. I
mean, it made the T-Rex iconic. Like, major push. Nobody cared about T-Rexes until then.
It was just a jobber. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, he's fine. Everybody was making fun of him because of his tiny arms. But, who made that power move straight to the top?
Everything's about wrestling if you can.
I mean, it's the easiest way to go back to it. Lots of cool, interesting sequences. I think, the whole car and the tree thing, part of me is like, why didn't you just go to the other side of the tree? Well, I guess they needed all those branches to get down, right? That's the reasoning.
I shouldn't have just following the path that he went up there because he knew it was climbable or whatever.
That's true. I like the kids. They were very jokey, like more jokey than I remember. Especially.
I think the kids in this are some of the most likable kids in any movie ever. To be honest, I feel like usually kids are super annoying, especially in modern movies. I think these kids are great. Like even that boy who's supposed to be sort of annoying at the start, like chasing Dr. Grant around, being like, "Hey, I read your book, I love you," or whatever. But I think they're both like, I think they're both endearing. And then also, even when she's like shining the flashlight, and you're like, "Oh God, no! It's not like you fucking idiot." You can sort of understand why they did it. Like they were trying to. She was trying to use like SOS for help, sort of thing. But yeah, like. Also, that T-Rex scene at night, one of the greatest moments in cinema history. How good though?
Yeah. Just moving around, taking out the cars, eating the dude on the toilet.
It's the build-up. It's just the build-up. Like the setting, the bang, the looking at the water, the looking over at the goat, seeing it's not there, the claw like that was testing the electric wire and then was like, ooh, that's off. Yeah. Like it's just, yeah. And also being at night, it just like I think that entire like T-Rex at night, perfect. Looks like it was done today. That's the difference. And it's a well-known fact that they tried to do as much at night as they could because it helped the special effects. But yeah, it really worked out quite well because anything at night, the T-Rex and everything looks fucking like it was done today. In my opinion, it still looks pretty great. Yeah, still looks pretty fucking great.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everybody gets messed up. I do enjoy that they found Jeff Goldblum later. Just didn't notice him, but he was under a cup. 2 ferns. 2 ferns in there.
That's all it takes to hide.
He looked very bloody. I completely forgot that shot of him shirtless is from this.
Yeah, the one everyone uses.
Yeah. And he's missing like half his leg.
Yeah, it's fine.
Like, I'm pretty sure like there's bone sticking out. Or is meant to look like that.
I can't remember seeing that, but yeah. I mean,
or maybe it could just be the tourniquet or whatever he put around his leg. So
yeah, I think
more likely. But yeah, that scene's great. It's crazy that they electrocuted a kid in this movie. Superman.
I mean,
on the fence. Yeah,
they didn't really. It was acting.
I mean. But the kid got electrocuted. That's a fact that happened in the movie.
Yeah.
Like the whole build up to that is perfectly done. Turn it on, and then it turns out you need to press all these under buttons to set up all the. Great, fantastic. Any other memorable moments for Jurassic Park you want to talk about?
From minute 1 to the last minute.
What about Mr. DNA? That whole video presentation.
How
self-indulgent do you need to be to have a call and response to yourself written into a script? Like, was he going to be on every single one of those tours?
No, I think he was going to be on all the early tours, introducing partners and business people and whatever else. Is what I've always taken it as. Yeah, I like that bit. Yeah, Mr. DNA. It's like Mr. Happy or whatever for Hanky from South Park. It's me, Mr. Hanky.
Probably based on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed the science behind it, I guess, kind of explaining how they
still think it makes perfect sense. I don't know if anyone's debunked it. I presume they have. But in my mind, I'm like, that makes sense. It always makes sense to me. Because they clearly in the movie... the right
mosquitoes. Yeah. And we'd have dinosaurs.
And I like how you have the scientists in the movie be like, they're discussing like really fast amongst them. We can't get the blood from this, blah, 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 blah. And then they're like, mosquitoes, motherfucker.
Mosquitoes... They have a drink frozen and then they go on a tree and then they just happen to fall into sap. Because that happened all the time back then.
I buy it. Totally buy it.
How did the mosquitoes get their little tiny thing in the dinosaurs? That's what I want to know.
They're sharp as fuck, you know? Just go where there's always a soft spot. The arsehole.
Mouth.
No, okay.
Oh, wow. Very different directions. Well, there was a lot of shit in this movie, so
yeah, there is giant pile of shit.
I also enjoyed that they just stopped the tour like halfway through. They're like, "Fuck this, we want to see what the whole interest is about." The little baby dinosaur thing, cute, but also scary, and also very lifelike.
I think it's scary. I definitely vote scary, not cute. Maybe it's because I know what dinosaur it is. Like, the first time you're watching it, you're like, I know what this is. Then anytime after, you're like, I know what this is. It's scary. I don't trust it.
It's like, part of you's like, that little dinosaur could just pop up and chew your face off.
Yeah. It's true.
Absolutely. Also setting up here the imprinting thing, which would come in important later into the series.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, even I can't remember. Is the character's name Dr. Wong? Is that the character?
B.D. Wong is the actor who has like a tiny bit part in this.
Yeah, and he becomes super important.
He becomes one of the most common characters through the entire series.
Yeah, there's lots here.
Lots here in Jurassic Park. Also, love just the like all the merchandise they've already printed out, already made in the gift shop and everything. All these
because they made it all for the film, then they just put it in Target after the film to sell it to kids. So. They're still selling it now.
They just banked on them for sure. Yeah, it's a great logo. I mean,
it is a great logo.
Like driving through those massive doors, the gates.
It's one of those logos you notice no matter where. Like you see it anywhere.
Yeah, it's Jurassic Park. Yeah. Anything else you think we need to touch on?
No. Really good. Michael Crichton's
great score as well. Like
and everything
needs to be said. Who did the score for?
Old mate. Come on. Who do you reckon it was? Take a guess.
Oh, John Williams. Sorry.
Come on, Ashley Hobley.
It's
Spielberg movie. Classic.
I'm like, Hans.
Who do you reckon did the score? Fucking hell.
All right. Let us know what you thought of Jurassic Park on Twitter by going to explosion.com/Twitter or jump into our Discord at explosion.com/Discord. If you want to help us out here at What Do You Want to Watch, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser, leave us 5 stars. Anywhere you can leave 5 stars. Just tell people about the show. That always helps. And if you like this episode, thought it was worth it all, head on over to our Koepp page at explosion.com/support. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, keep watching stuff, I guess.